What's going on, guys? Enjoyed the first time that we did a live show, so I figured we'd be back at it with another one, and hopefully Saturday night there's nobody out there. What's going on, guys? We'll give it a couple minutes for a few people to join us. I'm not seeing. If you guys can just shoot me a message so I know that everything's working well. Still new to this, guys. Bear with me. Hey, all right. Thank you. Good deal. So, wanted to do another live show. The last one went pretty well, and I enjoyed it. How you doing, Joe? Trinidad. All right. I actually went to college with a guy from Trinidad. So basically tonight don't really have much of an agenda, just kind of wanted to link up with you guys and see if there's anything that I can help you with. Worked on a video today. It's going to be uploading tomorrow, hopefully around noon. I got the Aquamax algae scrubber, algae reactor, sorry, up and going. Well, this is my process as of right now. My birthday was last Sunday when I uploaded my last video. I went and picked up a couple more corals I got. I don't know if you guys can see that little orange speck right there. That's a rainbow money. And I got two different chalices. I got a blue and purple chalice, and then I got a purple and pink chalice. I love chalices. Love them a lot. They're slow growing, so you got to be patient with them, but I definitely enjoy them. And I got this guy. Actually, you guys can't see that. Right, let's see if we can get in there. Got that guy right there. I'm not exactly sure what he is. I got a good deal on him. Thank you for the late birthday. Got a good deal on him, and I'm not exactly sure what it is. I thought it was a Lipostera. I wanted one of those jack-o'-lanterns. I thought it was a variation of it. I didn't think it was the jack-o'-lantern because that has green eyes. But I thought that it was a Lipostera type coral, but I'm not exactly sure what it is now. It's got kind of like a dark brown body, which it's not like a brown, ugly brown. It's a pretty decent looking brown, and it has like orange flecks in it. It's pretty neat. And then these monies too, I'm getting some really good growth on them right now. I've been dosing potassium, and I also have the Neptune Systems dose going. Right now I'm putting in about 7 milliliters a day of alkalinity and calcium, and I'm adding the potassium in by hand, but I'm getting some really good solid growth out of those money pores right now. Yep, this is like pretty much the lip of the tank. It's going to be covered eventually. This section of the tank right here will be covered. I'm actually going to I'm building shelving up top. That's what that wood is. And then I'm going to have the canopy come off that shelving, and it'll cover all this up eventually. And I still have to work on the stand, finish that off, but that's going to be probably another year down the road from now. Slowly but surely. I'm, as shocking as it may be right now, I'm about a year a year into this build. I've taken my time. I'm not exactly a wealthy man, so slowly but surely I'm getting there. These LED lights they came with a tank, so I bought the tank used. It's a 220 gallon tank. The lights came with it. You can get them on eBay. They're like the no-name brand LEDs that are available out there, and they cost about 80 bucks a piece. Somebody had asked about my lighting scheduling earlier. I currently am running the middle light 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and I'm on the East Coast, so technically these lights are supposed to be off right now, but I've turned them on for the video. The two outside lights, they start different times. I'm kind of doing the same thing that Mark Livingston's doing. The middle light will kick on. It doesn't have lenses on it, so it puts a broader light. That's why that one's much lower than this one right here. This one will kick on at about 10 and it'll shut off at 6 p.m. This one, the far left one, will kick on at noon and shuts off just 2 hours after this light does. So I think eventually what I would like to get to. What's up, CJ? How you doing, man? I'd like to get the Reef bright light on there, and I eventually do want to get to radons. I haven't done any power readings on these lights yet. I'm sure it's probably not what it needs to be. I probably should get the PAR reading kit for the Apex, make my life a little bit easier so I know what I'm working with. But I'm getting decent growth out of these corals as it is right now. The Monipora, the two green ones, you can see one right there, it's a little washed out. And this guy right here, this one's plating a lot more, and this guy over here, it seems to be kind of showing some branching characteristics, which is interesting. But getting some corals in there right now. I have to put a video together. It's probably going to come out next weekend. The quarantine system that I got going on is, you guys have seen the tank that I put together, but I have a quarantine system that probably eventually will turn into a clownfish breeding project. And right now I have about 13 fish in this quarantine system. There's a bunch of individual tanks that are plumbed together. The glass drilling video that I did a couple months ago, that was basically working on that project. And eventually next week, I think, because I got the the Aquamax video coming out tomorrow. Next weekend the quarantine video should be coming out, and you guys will get a peek as to what I got going on in there. Asking about the clownfish breeding project. It's something that I've always wanted to do. I've kind of experimented with the live foods for a period of time. I've cultured phytoplankton, I've cultured rotifers. It's just kind of, I was inconsistent with it. I'd like to get a little bit more consistent prior to actually establishing some breeding pairs, but I would like to have a documented series of videos on this channel for the for clownfish breeding and other marine fish. Joe, the lighting schedule on the tank right now is pretty much 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. I'm on the East Coast. Technically these lights should be off by now, but I turned them on for the video. But back to the clownfish breeding project, I want to establish some pairs in the coming months, and then once I get my fish quarantine and out of there into the tank, I'll probably start working in some pairs of clownfish. Right now wouldn't be a good time to start building some what's up, CJ? Yeah, and I'm not a little boy either. I'm a 240 boy, so sitting in front of a 220 tank. Yeah, it makes me look kind of small when I'm sitting next to it, which is impressive. It was a tank. Actually, the guy that I bought this tank from, he I bought some corals off him. I bought a couple chalices off him. And the first time that I walked into his house to buy the corals, I just sat and looked at his tank for like an hour. I was blown away by it. There is some scratches in it here and there, but for, you know, I paid $500 for it used, so. Somebody asked about how do I know where to place the corals. Doing research on coral placement is pretty important. A lot of times they'll tell you where they want to be, like that Montipora that I have, the green one right here where it's branching up. It's probably an indication that it's not as high as it wants to be in the water column. It may want it be happier a little bit higher up. But I have this same one right here, the same exact, it's just a split that's plating a lot more. So I don't know if the lighting is a little bit more consistent over on this side as opposed to that side. But like I said, the lenses on this middle light are gone. They've been removed. So you're getting a much broader spectrum of light, and it's a lot more displaced. It comes down like that, as opposed to these lights where you can see the dark spots. You have one right here, and you got a dark spot right there. And then in the middle, how that comes down with those lenses being off that light, you get it's much broader light, but it's not as strong as opposed to having the lenses on the LEDs, and it's a lot more condensed. And I think that's eventually that's why I want to go with the Reef Bright, because it's going to be a bar running across the top, and it's going to just push light everywhere. Those lights are pretty impressive as far as I'm concerned. May go to some I'm not sure actually. I'm not 100% on that. Water flow right now. I have the Neptune Systems waves going. I have a MP40 on the back wall that pushes to the front wall, and I'm having some type of growth going on, little crustaceans going on, and the skunk clownfish have been picking on them. I would like to be able to get a shot with my cell phone, but I can't. But where that MP40 on the back wall is basically sucking water, there's a white ring almost around that goes almost a whole width of the tank, and the clownfish have been picking them off. It's little some little crustaceans going on. Not exactly sure what they are, but they've been eating them. I haven't fed them in probably 4 or 5 days. Their stomachs have been pretty full. What's up, Inappropriate Reefer? How you doing, man? I just watched George's video of Reefer Palooza, and I saw you on there. Oh, my kids got up. No allergy issues as of right now. I got a little bit of growth on the bottom. I do currently have, I put some sponges in the sump, and that really reduced a lot of that kind of break-in phase that a lot of people go through when they're first starting their tanks. Didn't really have any major outbreaks at all. I did have a little bit of a die-off with the sponges, and it did come back, but it's doing all right for right now. And tomorrow I got a new video coming out. It's going to be covering the Aquamax allergy scrubber. So guys, that's going to do it for tonight. I want to thank you guys for joining me. A lot of things coming up. I do have a podcast that's going to be dropping tomorrow night as well, and a new video in around noon tomorrow Eastern Standard Time. I want to thank you guys for joining me, and I want to keep these videos kind of short and punchy. We're already hitting the 15-minute mark, but I want to thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Podcast, saltwateraquariumradio.com, Inappropriate Reefer. That's where you can find that. It's on iTunes if you want to check it out too. So thank you guys. I'll see you next time right here, hopefully with another live stream. See you guys.